This podcast is intended for educational purposes only. For our full disclosure, visit us at nc-midwifery.com and our podcast page. Well, welcome back to More About Birth Season 3. I'm here with our host, Shannon Bennett, and her co-host, Angie Hansen. Hey, ladies.
Just a little bit ago. Smells amazing in here.
It's chocolate.
Is it like cookies or what is it?
Actually, it's like brownies. I'm taking them and cutting out little circles and putting little dollops of frosting on top with peppermint sprinkles for a ladies' sing I'm going to tonight.
Oh, fun.
Too bad I'm off sugar. That does not sound fun, right?
Oh,
There's going to be a
goodness.
whole buffet of yums, and I'm
Yeah.
going to be drinking my sugarless tea.
Yeah. You're a tea people today.
I am a tea people. If you don't know what a tea people is, you got to go way back to the first few podcasts. That'll be a teaser for you.
I love that moment.
It's in the bloopers reel, I think.
Is it in the blooper reel?
Love
Yeah, it
that
is.
moment.
Oh, well, Angie,
Yeah.
I'm super excited about this season. We are going to change it up a bit. Tell us what we're doing different.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. I think we already have some great ideas lined up for some, interviews. And we are going to switch it up a little bit and try some audio only and take a few more things out of the studio and just give that a try.
We've talked a lot about it. So our audience is mainly young moms, and it's not always possible for them to sit and watch something.
Right.
It's a lot easier to pop some earbuds in your ears and run around folding laundry and doing whatever, chasing kiddos, cooking dinner, and listen.
Yeah.
So we are going to offer some audio only, which is going to flow perfectly with this little project Angie's working on, little baby
A
Peanut
project?
here.
Is that a baby project?
It is a baby project, so
Yeah.
due to arrive sometime in January.
Early January.
And we just thought maybe it would work better for Angie also after this little one comes to do some audio podcasts because,
Yeah.
you can nurse and podcast. You can change a diaper and podcast.
You can be
As
in
in-
your pajamas.
But we already do an audio
Which
podcast
we-
even when we're doing video. What do you mean?
Well, these are going to be just audio, so we can still get as many out.
And we can finally do the hot tub podcast.
And we
Ooh, the hot tub podcast. I want to do one in our jammies. I think that's awesome. You
Okay,
can come
well,
in your
we'll do that
slippers.
one in video. You guys can do Christmas PJs or something.
There you
That's
go.
cute.
I bet I even have some that will fit you.
nothing
No.
fits me.
I've got some Christmas PJs that'll fit you.
Oh goodness
It's
gracious!
a plan.
It's almost easier now to dress the baby than it will be later.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What are the plans for baby?
Well, we're planning a home birth because I'm kind of partial
So
to those.
surprised.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be kind of small and intimate and
Intimate. Not having a party.
not.
Are the kids
so
gonna be there?
much. Well, I suppose it'll be a party if my other 3 kids are there. They are adamant about being there. In fact, they tell me that if it's in the middle of the night and I don't wake them up, I'm going to be in big
trouble.
trouble. So I'm like, well, we tried last time. They were a lot younger, though.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think,
Oh, yeah. I think they're all old enough
they're
now
pretty
that they would be
excited.
excited to
Yeah,
wake up
they're
in the
pretty
middle of the
excited.
night.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
I keep getting questions already. So first of all, you guys, we need to congratulate Angie. She passed her North American Registry of Midwives exam. It's
What?
a 6-hour written exam.
How many
She's
attempts?
a midwife.
Yeah.
How many attempts?
First try.
Wow,
try.
first swing, you hit it out of the park.
She's awesome like
That's
that.
amazing.
So
Good job.
now that the word's getting around that you're a midwife, everybody wants to know, well, now what?
Dun, 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 dun.
I think we'd
Now
we'd like to know that too.
Oh, come on. You must have some idea of what you plan to do. You
Yeah.
to go out on your own?
No, definitely not.
It's like,
No, this is home here. This is family. I'm, as long as we are living in the Tri-Cities, I don't plan on going anywhere. So
Not moving to Idaho anytime soon?
not yet. It's very tempting.
She keeps telling
but
me she's going to buy a hunk of property in Idaho and start a commune.
it's the thing to do these days.
It's the thing to
As
do.
long as you have a cabin there for us to come visit,
There's
that would be
room.
cool.
Yeah, there's space. Yeah, no, I mean it totally is dependent on how baby and I are doing. In some ways it's impossible to plan exactly what's going to happen, but obviously we have both worked hard to get me to this point, and I'm not planning on dropping midwifery. So
So you think you'll take a few months off and just kind of chill at home with baby, and then
yep.
I told her, hey, just bring the baby to prenatals. You can nurse at prenatals. It's a normal, natural thing. And if anybody's uncomfortable, you probably shouldn't be having a home birth.
There you go. Yeah.
So
For sure.
we're planning on keeping her around.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, starting to take on my own clients as soon as baby is to that point.
Yep.
And especially if we're both doing well and there's anyone that is willing to have the baby be at
I
the
was just going to
labor.
say a lot of midwives, especially the older traditional midwives,
Yes.
always had their newborns at births with them, or they bring one of the older children or a nanny or something to the birth to have baby there on the premises for nursing.
You could carry your baby in one of those baby carriers that we did a podcast
baby
about.
carriers. Do you know he still calls
Baby
that episode?
hangers.
No, I
Hanging
said
babies?
it.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I still call that
so
podcast "The
bad.
Hanging Babies,"
So
but
wrong.
So wrong.
I have been
Hanging
told.
babies.
I have been told that that's not the appropriate verbiage.
Baby wearing. And Angie, how many slings do you have?
I only have 3 right now. But,
I'm
I
impressed.
am really determined to get the back wrap
Yes.
for being able to do stuff
Yes.
with the baby on my back. I've done a lot of baby wearing. I've done a lot with the baby on the front, but with the back, especially when they're still pretty young, like I've not mastered that one. So I really
You
want
almost
to get
have
that
to
one down this time.
Lay him on the bed, lay backwards. I don't know. It sounds like a ninja move to me.
It is, but I found a great YouTube video about it. So
Awesome.
Ninjas are really popular right now, so if you can do a ninja move, that just makes our podcast audience grow.
We'll get the
yes,
get you on here.
Angie
and
does the
fast
ninja
forward it.
move. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have some exciting news. And all of you watching, you need to stay tuned for our next podcast because you are going to get the insider scoop on the details of the new birth center opening in the Tri-Cities,
Yeah.
scheduled to start doing deliveries sometime after the new year. So don't miss our next podcast.
Exciting.
And
Is that a commercial?
kind of,
Good job.
Right.
I suppose.
Good job.
You just don't want to miss it. So we also have another announcement to make. Some of you have met our newest student, Sierra. She's not replacing Angie. She's just coming on our team. And as with Angie, she's going to be a great midwife. You're going to love her.
Yeah.
And we're going to have her pop in a little bit and just tell you a little bit about herself so you can get to know her.
Yeah, that's exciting. In fact, I won't say the name, but I was just out and about in the community yesterday. Somebody else that kind of works in, the birth prenatal care field. And she was saying, I keep hearing great things about Sierra. Everyone's excited about
people
Sierra.
love her.
So, yes,
It'll be
already
great.
Wonderful
and we're a
things.
good team. We all have a little bit different personalities, and we make this great team. So
Yeah, you're like the three musketeers.
amigos.
Yeah, 3 amigos. All you need of your musketeers is D'Artagnan now, number 4.
we may have a D'Artagnan after the new year. I have somebody interested.
Promises, promises.
So let's get back to you in a minute, and we'll introduce Sierra.
Ooh.
I would like to introduce to you Sierra. She is the newest addition to our team. and
Welcome.
Telling you, we're like puzzle pieces. Everybody's got their strengths, and everybody fits together perfectly to complement the other.
Is this the first time the 3 musketeers have been at the table together in a podcast?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wow.
I like it.
Yes.
Can I be D'Artagnan then for now?
I suppose. I suppose.
So funny.
So Sierra is a student midwife with
Midwife's College of Utah.
I just had a brain fart. You're gonna have to.
I'm not editing that out.
Yes,
We're leaving
you
the
are.
brain.
Oh, cry.
We are leaving the brain fart
See,
in.
I was just telling Angie, there's this thing going on in my brain lately where I spit something out and the last little bit just doesn't come. I'm getting
okay.
old.
Oh, goodness.
The most important part is I'm a student midwife. And
Yes. And how long will it be until you anticipate being done with this process?
so I will graduate August 2023, and then I will sit for NARM then, and hopefully pass it like Angie did. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Such
I
a
know.
great
Isn't that
accomplishment.
exciting?
Yes.
So I know Angie had a few questions for you too that she thought the audience.
Wait a minute.
would
What
like
does
to
it
know.
mean to sit for NARM?
It just sounds more
You
official
sit.
to sit for your board exam than like I took a test.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's what all the doctors
I'm just
say,
being-
so we're just trying to be cool.
I'm just being
like that.
educated
Gotta
like
be
the audience.
cool like the rest of the
We're just
medical
trying to be
field.
cool like that.
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. Well, it is a pretty rigorous test.
It
It
is.
is, yeah.
Proctored, and
We were just talking
travel,
about it.
and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
It is.
So what was it you wanted to ask her?
So I'm just curious about your birth history because I know you have your own kids.
Yeah.
And did that play a part in you becoming a student? And, just what was your experience? I know because I shared some of mine earlier on the podcast. So
Yeah.
tell us about your births.
For sure. Yes, I have 4 girls. My oldest is 12. And actually, I interviewed Shannon for my first birth. But I was living in my in-laws' basement at the time, and they were kind of like, no, thank you.
So see, I think the actual no that you gave me was because at that time I didn't have my additional Washington State license. I was certified nationally.
Yes.
And I think you told me that
That was-
wasn't quite good enough.
Yes. Well, it was something that was definitely
This is a good story.
concerning
Yeah.
to
It was kind of comical. I remember
It
coming home and
was.
chuckling.
Yes, and so the movie The Business of Being Born had just been released, and my aunt, who was an L&D nurse, was like, you should watch this movie. And I watched it, and I was like, this is exactly what I should be doing, midwifery. And then, so long story short, we ended up having our baby at the local hospital, and we had a fun experience. Very normal hospital birth, 8 pounds, 5 ounces. It was a cute little girl. But it kind of made me realize how much I was missing and kind of what is lacking in obstetric care versus the midwifery model of care. And so I knew that's what I wanted. And so the second time around, we had moved to South Carolina because my husband was in grad school. And I started out with a midwife practice in the hospital. But the hospital that we were going to had a 50% C-section rate.
Yay.
Wow.
Wowza.
Yeah. And
Right.
so that was not appealing to me. I have big babies. I go over. I'm the perfect candidate for them to tell me that there was something that needed to be done.
Yes. You need help.
Right. And I knew that wasn't true. So I found a home birth midwife, and she lived 3 hours away from me. So it was, it was a commitment because we had to drive.
Well, what
all
are
the way
the
there for
laws
her
in
prenatals.
South Carolina?
So they
Is it kind of
are
an A-
yes, it is an A legal state. So they don't license their midwives, so they can't carry oxygen, they can't carry anti-hemorrhagic drugs, things like that.
Right.
It is not illegal, so they can't get arrested.
They just can't do anything.
Right. But it was a very traditional midwifery experience, which I thought was great. I had my baby at home at 41 weeks, and it was life-changing. There's no other way to describe it. It was the moment that I was like, this is what I'm going to do when I grow up. I'm going to be a midwife. And
awesome.
I want to provide this type of care to other women.
The next time that you got pregnant, you'd move back to the Tri-Cities and called me.
Yes. Yeah. So, I was actually like 30 weeks pregnant when I moved back, but I had already established care with you because I knew we were coming.
Yeah, I remember doing a Skype call, and I had to have my
Bryson,
my 12-year-old or 13-year-old at the time show me how to Skype. What are your plans after you're done here in a couple of years?
So to stick around here, I'm born and raised in the Tri-Cities. I'm not going anywhere. And, hopefully to keep going and serving the women of our community and just
So you plan to have your own practice and serve the women. In the meantime, I know you're working on learning all these skills. Where are you at right now in all of this?
Well, I just finished my IV class, and so now I know how to put in IVs successfully.
So at the next birth, we're probably going to have somebody that needs an IV because this is just Murphy's Law, right? The student learns something.
Hopefully it's not mine.
It's not yours.
Doria.
Angie loves needles.
She's a terrible
I'm
pope.
fine with needles. Needles are not fine with me.
No.
My veins have disappeared.
Terrible veins.
I'm neither fond of them or they are not fond of me.
No, but it's Murphy's Law, right?
Yeah.
Every time we'd be learning something or we'd go to a neonatal resuscitation class, the next baby needed resuscitated. We'd go to a postpartum hemorrhage class, the next person had a postpartum hemorrhage.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm finishing up my prenatal 1 class, and so it's gone through what you do, the whole 10 months of prenatal visits and things like that, and so that's been really interesting. Let's see.
And what will you be starting on next semester? Or trimester? They call them trimesters.
Yes,
Perfect.
Trimesters.
Yeah.
I will be doing labor and birth and birth complications. I also have to take microbiology, which yes.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes.
That's intense.
So Sierra will be with us, working with us, assisting, working on her skills alongside me, and soon.
Yes. I just delivered my first placenta by myself.
Yay, Sierra!
Yay.
Super fun.
It is.
How is it having Shannon look over your shoulder when you're doing that stuff?
Reassuring.
On the spot?
Reassuring for sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
We're so different.
I know. Angie would
Such
be like,
different
don't
students."
watch me, don't
Yeah.
watch me.
Yeah, stop
Close your eyes.
stop
or I
hovering.
can't do it.
Sierra's going, I love the cheerleader.
Is this what I should be doing?
Yeah. You guys are so different. I
Yeah.
just joke all the time about having to cattle prod Angie to get her to do the next step. And Sierra, I'm like, whoa, hold on. We're not quite there yet.
But you know what? I think if anybody had a chance to see all three of you together and
We
see
work
the
well
personality
together.
differences, you really do. I think you complement each other. And that's been one of the things that's been fun for me to have a front row seat for. And maybe our audience will get to see more of Sierra and Angie together
We'll be
with
seeing more of Sierra for
the
sure.
boss, the Shannon Meister.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is fun. I think some of my favorite births are the ones that we've done, all three of us.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Oh, yeah. It is fun. Okay, well, we are going to wrap it up here, but thanks, Sierra, so much for
Yes,
joining
thank
us.
you.
And we're super excited to have you here today and have you on the team. So.
Yes.
And come
More
back.
to come.
And
I love it.
Yeah, and
I
come
love
back.
it.
Lots
I
more to
will.
come.
You'll be seeing more of Sierra. Hey, what was this big test you took like? I know what it was like when I took it years and years ago, but I'm sure it's changed since then.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It honestly, it was very rigorous. I don't want to say that, I passed and aced it with flying colors because of my brain power, because I really honestly give the glory to God for, helping me pass this test. It was difficult.
I remember it being hard.
was
There was
hard.
like multiple choice, but each one had a completely stupid answer that you could just get rid of right away. And then there were 3 left.
Was it multiple choice?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's 300 multiple choice questions, and they give 3
300.
hours and per section, break it up halfway.
So it's 6 hours total that you have to take
That
the
you're
test.
allotted for,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, and they're not easy multiple choice. They're like more difficult than not. And so, you're left with basically these two answers that are both correct technically. Like they could both be
the
right.
answer.
You could argue that both ways, but they're looking for the best one or the one that,
or the most applicable or however they worded it.
And so, I'm going through this test just praying that I'm going to, be led to the right answer because I really didn't know as I was going through it how I was doing. I was like, I could be doing great or I could be flunking hardcore because they're very tricky.
But you found out right away, right?
I did, yeah. I thought it was going to take longer.
We had to wait weeks back in the day because we had to drive to Eugene to take the test. And then we had to wait at least 2, if not 3 weeks, to even find out if we passed.
Shannon was waiting on pins and needles, so it was very uncomfortable.
That's terrible, yeah. That's terrible. I think the hardest part, too, was, so if you do it remotely, it's proctored online, and there's all these rules, like...
You can't chew
You
gum.
can't have anything on your table. You can't have anything in your surroundings. You can't eat or drink.
Did you have to show them? Did you have to turn your computer camera around and show them the whole
that the room is secure? But I think, being big and pregnant, I think the hardest part was not being able to drink. And so...
Or not being able to pee.
yeah, right. All the things. You can't stand up and move around at all. And so by the second half... I was just physically weary and I was super thirsty, which was very distracting. So anyways, I'm just super duper thankful that I made it. And
we are really, really proud of her.
It's a big relief to have that off your plate. And Shannon, this is like your first from start to finish.
Yeah,
successful.
This is my first from scratch.
Yeah.
We celebrated that too. We had 2 good things happen that day. And I told Shannon, I go, wow, that's great news. Angie passed her test and then her parents had a huge breakthrough with Dad's health situation, all in the same day.
That's awesome.
And then we remembered that Shannon also had accomplished this incredible thing that she's always wanted to accomplish.
Which I hadn't thought about it, but back at the very beginning of midwifery school, one of our first assignments was to write what kind of a midwife I want to be. And you know me well enough to know that I'm not good with essay style things, but I'm great with bullets or charts. So I just kind of bulleted all these things. And I remember one of the things I wrote down is I want to be the kind of midwife that trains other midwives to carry on. And I thought, I can cross that one off. Cross it off my list.
It really is such a huge celebration, and I'm sure you could say the same thing from having gone through the process yourself, but it's a community accomplishment. I mean, it's your accomplishment. It's my family's accomplishment.
Our moms.
My mom.
I know your mom and my mom. Neither one of us could have done it without.
And I think that's a great point, Angie, because everybody doesn't sometimes realize it is a family affair when you...
your husband...
When you're involved with someone doing school or education like that, and then if you add midwifery to it, it has just a little bit different edge. I'm sure if someone had to go...
Your kids sacrifice and pick up slack.
I mean, every single client that, allowed me to be there and be learning alongside them, and every single person that's prayed for me in this process, which was a lot of people. And so it's wonderful to be able to share that accomplishment with so many people.
Yes.
And then I think it's exciting how many people are asking about you now. What's next?
Yeah.
Is Angie going to be at my birth? Because they're so used to you guys working together. And I think people need to understand. I think that's going to continue just at a whole different level with you because you're at a different level now. So
I tell them too, just because she's having a baby doesn't mean she's going to disappear. But as soon as they find out that you're having a baby, they're like, oh, is she not going to be doing this anymore?
Yeah.
People love you.
They love you. How
we're
sweet.
excited and very, very proud of you. We just want you to know.
Yes, we are very proud of you.
So,
Thank
yay.
you.
Yay.
Well, I just am equally proud of Shannon and excited for her about this, accomplishment of first student beginning to end. And
hadn't even thought about that, but that does
huge.
feel good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like shooing your kids out the door and knowing that they're not going to fall on their face.
Plus, there's so much more that Angie can help with now because she has that behind her, and that's awesome for you.
Right.
So, and vice versa, obviously.
We need to talk about some of that, a matter of fact. All right. We're going to see you guys back in a few weeks. And don't miss the next podcast so you can get the insider scoop on the new birth center in the Tri-Cities. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Look a lot like Christmas. Look at our room in here. Seriously.
I love these.
I love these
Spiky
twinkle lights. I know. Although if my husband keeps stealing all my Christmas decorations from other places in the house to decorate for podcasts, I'm going to go buy some more.
Yeah, well, she doesn't decorate. This podcast is intended for educational purposes only. For our full disclosure, visit us at nc-midwifery.com and our podcast page.